Well, hello, everybody. Holy moly. Not only technical difficulties, Dropbox issues, syncing issues, a whole bunch of craziness, but we're here now. We're here. We also had Drew Taylor. We advertised it. That was supposed to be joining us in the chat, and he got added to a screening for another movie that he has to cover. He's a writer for The Wrap. He wrote the Art of Onward book. It was really cool that we were going to have him jump on here. In fact, we already recorded an episode of the podcast with him before we even canceled it. Boy, oh boy, we got to bring that back. But anyways...
We didn't cancel it.
Well, okay. Yeah, paused while we're doing other things that we got to get taken care of.
We've got a lot going on for that.
That's true. So yes, thank you for everybody for hanging on while we got this thing started. We are super excited. We're going to, of course, talk about Turning Red and all those fine details. I can't even tell you how long. By the way, will you turn those off?
Oh, yes, sorry.
I can't tell you how long I went through and looked at every spare moment of background. I think we've got about like maybe 15 to 20 different Easter eggs that we can talk about today as well. So we've got a lot there. We've got Giovanni, who's going to be joining us, I believe, with Ashley. And then, of course, we're also joined by Ms. Paulina, who's one of our regulars that we have on here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And welcome to everybody in the chat here. We've got Disboy. Let's see, where should we put this? We'll put this, how about above Paulina for the time being?
Looks good.
Dalek, Lauren, nice to see you as well. Yep, so let's see. Cameron, Brendan, always great to have you along. Lara, fantastic. Ramen Water, you're back in the house. Can't put it there, unfortunately, just because of the buzzes. No problem. No, it's not that. Chris, great to have you along. Got to see lots of great comments. And Ro, we missed you last time, but you were able to make it today. So excellent. And we'll continue to post some of these as we go. And Nader Animator, what's up, Pixar pals? Indeed. So, okay, Scott Sullivan is in the house. So, as we go, oh, look at this, Danny boy's here. Dan, the Pixar fan. And if you want to come in, Dan, I already asked you, but if you change your mind and want to talk, just send us a message. So
Paulina, I must say, I love that every time your background is themed to whatever we're talking about.
Well, you guys inspire me for everything Pixar.
And likewise. So, hey, wait a minute. You got your Turning Red hat back there.
She's got the hat.
Oh, yeah.
And that's from seeing it at the theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Jordan, nice to see you again. So, how was it seeing Turning Red in the theater?
Oh, that's
reversible.
Love it.
Where's the camera?
Oh. Reversible to black and red?
Yes. I'm having a little trouble with the camera.
We're having trouble with everything tonight, so don't worry about it.
Happy Monday.
I think I'm just going to hug my face.
Yes.
Exactly.
Everything's okay.
Yeah.
Calm. Zen.
Yeah, where's your brushes?
Calm.
So, Josh, nice to see you. And look at that.
I'm sorry, TJ.
You're fine. Rose saying nice background as well. So you got that from seeing the movie at El Capitan, right?
Yes. I went for fan night, and it was a blast.
Yeah. So you're one of the few. Brendan, you got to see it in theaters in New York. So what was it like seeing it in theaters, and did you also watch it again on Disney Plus?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was so happy to watch it on the big screen because honestly, I think that's where it deserves to be seen, right?
Yes.
And especially once I was watching it and then when Panda, gets so huge at the stadium, it's like that impact that you get in the big screen that you don't get on your TV screen, no matter how big it is, right? Mm-hmm. So just everything was just amazing. And then you can't, the audience, the energy of the audience, that you can't beat that.
That
and
is
there's
awesome.
so many kids in the audience, and their commentaries was so funny. It added to the, movie itself, to the moment. It was great. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
And yes, TJ, I watched it twice on Disney Plus already.
Nice. Yeah, so that's kind of like Brendan. He saw it once in the theaters and 3 times on Disney Plus. So, yeah, you went to the Toronto premiere, you lucky dog. Yeah, we've got a lot of comments. We're going to obviously talk about, everything from the good, the bad. We have some questions. We have some things that we're like, about these elements too. Obviously, we're not going to get into and feed all of the negative side of it. That's not what we're necessarily here for, but we'll address some of it because I think some of it is, potentially founded, and some of it is, just craziness. It's
Craziness.
just, it's part of the era we're in, right?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. And then Scott says, is there a way to turn up Paulina's audio? Oh, no. We already tried it. This is part of what we tried. Here, hang on. What if...
You sound loud to us.
I think this is going the other way. Yeah. Okay, so we'll try to level ours down a little bit. You guys let us know in the chat if that gets any closer. Paulina, you let us know. So talk for a second here.
This is amazing. I love the movie.
So...
do you want me to try to get out after I'll restart?
No, I think it's good.
Yeah,
I think it's good.
I think we were experiencing some of this before too. I think it's just we got to work on something apparently on our side that we got to get figured out. But okay, so overall thoughts on this particular one. Julie, what were your overall thoughts?
Oh, I don't want to go first.
Okay, Paulina.
So much
Oh wait,
pressure.
how about me?
Yeah, you never go first. You do it.
And you guys in the chat, you let us know as well what your overall thoughts were. Whether you want to just put in a rating.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay. or whether you want to like actually write like something that's something that stood out for you or whatever.
So for me, my overall thoughts was this movie is so fun. It felt so new, and it was okay. So I'm about to turn 40 in April.
Ew.
Ew, he's right.
I'm just joking. I'm already past it.
And I totally got, like, I know this is like in the 2000s, the early 2000s when like the boy bands and stuff were hitting and stuff, but I totally got like 90s vibes when I was,
all applies.
In middle school. I mean, we didn't have like Tamagotchis and stuff like that, but I don't know, like just the feeling that I felt like I related to it and I felt it, and I thought that the jokes and the animation style and how they did the team did everything was so fresh and new and different that I really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they pushed it a little with some jokes, and I was there for it. I think it was awesome. I like the creative risks that the team took. I had one note that I didn't like, which we'll get to, which was towards the end, but didn't like hurt anything that I loved for the movie. But it was surprising, like how much I felt like I connected to it. Okay. Like being that like, oh gosh, that was so long ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, when I watched it, I could feel those feelings again.
Yeah. That's a really cool point because
it feels so far away. But
you can still remember the excitement of CDs and bands and like hanging out with your friends and the craziness of growing up and being a teenager and all those other things. I think that's what...
CDs? No, it was a mixtape that you had to wait for the song to come on the radio.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the chat are saying similar things as far as like ratings. We're in that... And now again, we're a Pixar fan community, so we're not necessarily fully representative of the general population. Yeah. But if you want to talk about, overall rankings of where things are at right now. For critics on Rotten Tomatoes, they are at a 95% for all critics. Top critics are 96%. And users, is swinging drastically, and I mean drastically. It was around like the 89% when it started, then it was down to 66. Now it's at 73. There is definitely an internet play that is going on right now with groups of people that are posting, go post that you don't like this, and it's kind of going along these trends. You know, it's the whole, we'll talk about some of them. Metacritic, which a lot of times people use for a little bit more of a balanced approach, is 8.3 for critics out of 10. So 83% if you just want to call it that. I'll keep it at percentages as well. And then fans are at 65%. I'm suspecting that will go up as well. Comparing that to Luca, since that was just, you know, kind of the last one that we're looking at here. So critics, again, on Turning Red are currently at 95% for Turning Red, and they were 91% for Luca. Users were a little bit flopped at this point. Again, I think we're going to see a balancing out. 73% fans for Turning Red and 86% for Luca. So anyways, some of the comments that are out there, let's just get them out of the way. So it's like, it's kind of funny. It's like the main points when I read the negative is that, you know, Disney is doing it again with, you know, their parents, you know, they're disobeying their parents in Turning Red. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty much almost every movie where there's like a parent. And somebody else responded, that's literally the plot of Luca. Like, he ran away from home and he disobeyed his parents and went to the surface.
Nemo.
Nemo. And somebody said
Riley literally ran away.
Yeah, Riley leaves. So yeah, the best rebuttal to that was, you know, go watch Bambi if you want a character who doesn't disobey their parents. It's like, ooh, ouch, ooh, dark. Dark. And then Brian coming in 10 out of 10. That's great. A lot of the Pixarians commented as well that, you know, this is the first feature film for Domi Shi, and if this is what we're getting on the first, imagine what we're going to get as she continues to grow, learn more, see more. I've already put it out there. She's taken over for Pete Docter.
Yeah, you said
not
that.
now, but when that time comes, I'm just going to throw it out there. She'll be the next chief creative officer. So let's see here. I'm going to scroll past some of these because, yeah, we got to, you know, giving it a 9 out of 10. Ice Cream Hero. One of the biggest laughs I got. That is my review too. I haven't laughed this much in a long time at a Pixar movie, and I loved it. I loved just cracking up and feeling those kind of like that laughter that's in there again. I am pulling in some other guests, and bam! Look at this. We got Gio and Ash in here. So you guys,
sorry we're late.
No problem.
No, I just gave my thoughts, and Paulina was about to give hers, and you guys can
great.
go. And...
Yeah. So joining us as usual, you know, we've got the normal contingent that we have here of Paulina, our pals Paulina, and then down below with Giovanni and Ashley. So welcome.
Thank you.
I will hit another comment up here, and that way I can move it now off of Paulina's face and put it in here where it needs to go. Okay, so and you guys let us know as far as the levels, if like we need to bring Gio up or anybody down. I can try to tweak those around a little bit. Joe is right. I think Turning Red is the Rotten Tomato score is a victim of hate spamming. It absolutely is, because we're, like I said, we're seeing these wild spikes. We're also talking about some of the harsher comments that have come in for Gio and Ash that are just joining us now. So they talk about, you know, some of the language that they use, that they say CRAP, and that they're drawing shirtless photos and all these other things. And they're talking about, like, you know, oh, I can't believe this. Now, again, I can't just, you know, take that and just say, well, that's garbage. That's what that's what some of these people really truly believe. But I believe rather than hate spamming a review site, it's a better idea to just say, well, this is what some people believe. I'm okay with them believing that, but that shouldn't lead to you going out there and hate spamming or doing something like that on like a Rotten Tomatoes. I think how they talked in this movie, how they acted, the things they did are more reflective of the general population than any individual group that's coming in and saying or doing something about that. I mean, do you guys kind of agree with what I'm saying there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talked about this a lot, earlier.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I joked that my crush was Paula Abdul when I was super young, and it was like, are you kidding me? Of course, I was like drooling over her, and then, like, the comments about the Tamagotchi, you're gonna go meet your daddy and all that other stuff. It's like, yeah,
who didn't play MASH? Where it was like,
and MASH?
Where it was like mansion, apartment, shack, and house, and then you had to like pick a number, and then you had to like write and then you had to like you did like you got a pencil and you spun until you said stop, and that's how many you'd counted. So it'd be like 4 or like 6 or something, and then you'd have different categories written on the paper, and it would be like your favorite food, your crush, like celebrity crush. So it'd be like Billy Joe Armstrong because Green Day was hot when I was, you know what I mean? And, or when I was in elementary school, it was like who are the other New Kids on the Block and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's what that reminded me of, like the drawing underneath the bed. I never drew like shirtless, but I just like was like, oh my gosh, I would draw like heart eyes and stuff like that.
The heart eyes, yeah, of course.
That's what it reminded me of, and like I said, I'm here for it. I love it. It reminded me of like what are those called? Those cootie catchers. Is that like where it's like
my sister's chiming in. I played MASH.
Yes.
I like how she jumps in on some of these random chats and just throws in that
was
stuff.
The best game. It was the best. We didn't have TikTok. We had MASH.
That's right. So I think like as far as like some of those things, I get it. I mean, I don't want to put those people down either. That's their view on it, and you're allowed to have it. But it also shouldn't mean, therefore, I believe this. You should throw a post out there that says ban it. Tell all your friends. Like, just calm down.
I know.
Just calm down.
But I feel like every movie now.
Oh, I know. Isn't it hilarious how polarized everything has to be? It's you either have to be in this camp or you have to be in this camp. Yeah. You can't just be like, yeah, I liked it, or I didn't love it. But let's talk about some of the visuals in this film. I mean, like, we're going to talk spoilers here. I already said that we're going to show like 18, 19, 20 some Easter eggs that I found. But like legit, it's like you can't tell me when they go into that forest and like the bamboo is like that 3D. It has like that 3D edging, like you're almost kind of looking at it through like a coated angled glass or something. Yeah. Like that is freaking gorgeous. Like, all that stuff is like, you can't appreciate how cute Panda May is.
Cute as heck.
If you don't think
so cute.
If you don't think Panda May is cute, I'll call you wrong on that one.
I'll tell you what, I want this size, but like the pinky kind of version with the heart eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Target. That one. I want that one too. It's sold out like everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's. Are you talking about the bed pillow one?
Yes. I haven't found it yet.
Yeah, the pink one?
Yeah, like where it's like, it's got like the arms like coming out or whatever.
No, it's an upright one.
Oh, there's an upright one. Yeah, I just haven't.
Yeah. It was in the reel I just did yesterday.
I must not be thinking of the right one. Okay, so this line just reminds me of Abby, and what is hilarious about Abby, and I know we're literally all over the place. I'm gonna bring it back home after this, but that reminded me. I started just searching Turning Red hashtag on Twitter today, and it pre-populated Turning Red Abby. So like literally people are.
She's amazing.
They're writing.
She is amazing.
She's amazing.
They're writing Turning Red Abby so much that she's like popping up as a suggestion. So, okay, so you guys, since you guys popped in, so Giovanni, Ashley. Initial thoughts on the movie. What do you think about it when you guys watched it for the first time?
You go first.
No, you go first.
I'll go. Really enjoyed it. Loved it. I thought it was really funny. I thought the way it was shot was really fun. There were so many. This was a great film for just different camera angles. Really, the style, everything. I thought it was wonderful. Really don't have any complaints at all. I love the music. Yeah. Love the songs. Characters were all great. I know it sounds very generic, but really enjoyed it. Yeah.
No, it's okay to be. It's okay to be generic at this point. We're like, we're just.
I don't get in the nitty gritty just yet.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I loved it like a lot. It was very relatable. I was very excited to watch pretty much how I grew up. I mean, I was obsessed with like High School Musical growing up, so like their love for Fort Town was my love for High School Musical. So it was just funny to see that in a movie that I could relate to so much, and it made me snort laugh a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
really good moments.
Yeah.
I love the whole thing. It was amazing.
Yeah. Did you guys get a chance to see it at the theater?
No.
Okay. So we were talking earlier, Paulina was basically saying like, how cool it was to be able to see it at the theater and then also follow it up on Disney Plus to like rewatch things, get the audience reactions and then, kind of absorb it again at home. That's almost the ideal way to do it. And maybe that's the way they could, because I know they don't want, like, people don't want to wait for in-home anymore. We're a give it to me now, stream it kind of society in general. Maybe they should do something where if you buy a movie ticket, you can come home and like scan the ticket, or somehow or another, if you do it through Disney Plus, then it unlocks it to watch at home early. Like, that would be cool. If not, put it on the delay. But I just love the fact of, because like a lot of times you see it at the theater and I just want to rewatch it or dissect it at that point. So,
well, what was Paulina's thoughts?
Yes, overall thoughts on Turning Red.
Oh, I loved it. It exceeded my expectations. It was so good. I just love the, fantastic story on the journey of, self-discovery. It was just such an honest storytelling, like you guys were saying, 13-year-old girls. I remember being a 13-year-old girl. I used to write the guy's crush as my last name.
Totally.
Like I was married to them,
Same.
It's just like, and then even I related as myself, and then also my daughters when they went through that stage also. So it was just, I just lived it, and I love the exaggerated animation. I loved all the visuals. Just the honesty of it. It was awesome. The powerful emotions.
Yeah, we're going to talk.
You got a sweet, sorry.
No, go for it, Gio.
You got a sweet bucket hat out of the deal, too. So, I mean, that's just like, that just elevates it to a new level.
Yes. So we're gonna talk about, Paulina, you mentioned like the different style of animation a little bit and how they pushed that. And I posted one of the comments as well about, are you a triangle because you are cute? Like, that's so, and look at his delts and like all this other stuff. It's so funny like how they were talking, because it's like, they're just going to spend a minute and look at boys. But again, I just want to cap this off. Again, if anybody else has any constructive comments, anything like that, don't shy away from saying it. I'm just saying right now, I'm just going to say this last one and then we're going to dive into like the nitty gritty of it. But I think also, instead of going onto a website and just like complaining about a movie for the couple key elements, think about some of the great things that also were portrayed in this. And like, if you're going to give a fair review, you got to talk about both sides. You can't only talk about one. The Friends, when they're talking about going to Fort Town, and one of them immediately like steps out and says like, Priya's like, well, I won't go. And like, they all are like, no, I won't go. And then they're like, girls, if none of us can go, if one of us can't go, none of us can go. Like, it's like, that is a great group of friends. That is something
like
that's
a sisterhood.
That's portrayed very healthy on camera.
Which is awesome, because nowadays I think it's really hard for girls.
Absolutely.
And boys.
It's hard for everybody, especially at that age.
But I just feel like now it's just like, I just feel like, gosh, that is showing a healthy relationship for kids.
Right. And then, when they saw her as the panda, they said, like, we love you no matter what.
Yes, no matter who you are, be yourself.
No matter who you are.
Be yourself.
And then even Miriam, they were saying, like, some of the reviews were saying, like, Miriam was, baiting her and kind of pushing her on, like, on the roof, where they're like, did you ever think about not doing the ceremony to get rid of your panda?
But that's what friends do. Friends have honest talks with you.
Yes.
That's what you're supposed to do with your friends. You're supposed to have like honest conversations that you wouldn't have with your parents right away, if ever. Like
if ever, yeah.
But you just have honest conversation. I mean, that's like who you confide in when you're that young.
Yeah, and I think like, it's not even, they didn't even do like the peer pressure thing. Like, May then says like, my mom, she's going to want me to get rid of this. This is what I have to do. And then, they just say, well, you're being yourself now. You're kind of becoming yourself. And then she says, well, whatever you decide, like, just don't get rid of all of it. It's like, that is a great, like, these are things that you can't come in and just be like, you're disobeying the parents, but not realize that she's got a great set of friends, too. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, okay, what did you guys think? Because this is something that was definitely...
So the dialogue. So...
Which dialogue?
Like, the dialogue of just, like, the movie in general was phenomenal.
Okay, talk about that.
Well, just like how you said, like, how they were just talking.
Yes.
Oh, it's, like, very natural. It was just very poignant, almost. Like, just that little bit of when they were on the roof. Like, well, just don't get rid of all of it. And just kind of, it felt really real. I feel like it would be I feel like dialogue like that is kind of hard to write and kind of, I mean, scripts in any movie, I feel like it's just kind of, like, how do you write, like, what I'm just rambling on saying? You know what I mean? Like
yes,
a moment,
because it feels
like a
more...
moment that feels real, and a lot of this movie felt really real, like true moments, especially like friendship, and a little less with mom and
May,
because
the mom was so exaggerated,
more so with the friends, the group of 4 girls.
Well, and then with the dad too, which we'll talk about that.
Oh, the dad at the end.
Oh.
He's ready to talk about the dad.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, well, time out on that one. So I want to talk about the other thing that, in addition to the dialogue, something else that was kind of different in this one was obviously the anime touches. The fact of the, like, where one of my favorite parts I told her were like, Panda May drinking too fast.
Yeah.
Where Panda May is going through the alleyway and she's like, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Yes. Comes out the other side, pops, like, straight forward, and then boop. Like, there's so much of like that, the way that they cut it, the way that they animated it. It's just, it was different, not only in the animation, but also in just the touches that they did, from the lighting to the anime eyes. How did that strike you guys? Ashley, we'll start with you, in terms of like that look. Because some people were like, this doesn't feel like Pixar. Did it bother you? Did you like it? Were there concerns?
I mean, it didn't feel like Pixar, but I think in a good way, it didn't feel like Pixar. It was nice to see coming from Pixar. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought all the like exaggerated expressions, like when she runs up to the, what's it called, the mart with the
Daisy Mart?
Yeah, when she runs up to it and she like stomps her leg. And then
the auga!
Yeah.
Auga.
Hilarious. I thought it was great. I didn't think I'd ever see that in a Pixar movie, but I'm happy I did, because it was super funny.
Yeah. Paulina, obviously, we're kind of, I love that we all talk too, because we're all kind of touching on slightly different eras and preferences of what we like and don't like. So from Paulina, from your perspective, what are your thoughts on like the anime touches? Did you ever have any? Because I didn't watch any anime. Did you ever watch any anime to have connections to it immediately from that direction, or did it just stand out different, or what was your take on it?
My experience with anime was Kimba the White Lion. That was like, in my childhood. However, my girls, their whole teenage years was anime.
Okay.
Everything that Domi talks about, Fruits Basket and Sailor Moon. Yeah. Those were the girls' TV viewing growing up. All the J-pop, bands. That's what they were into. They weren't into just your mainstream. It was all Korean and Japan bands, and all their manga books.
Yes.
So this was very welcoming to me. Like it hit home in the sense of when my girls were growing up. It's like I would take them to concerts. I sat in concerts with them to watch, concerts. They weren't into like NSYNC and them. I was into groups like that when I was young.
Totally.
So I saw both worlds.
Yeah.
It was really neat.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cool that you had like, that's the best part about kids, right? That they get to expose you to a whole nother world that you wouldn't necessarily be exposed to without them. And I think that's, in general, like our whole group, lovers of just the arts and culture and things like that, you just get exposed to it more anyways. But what were your thoughts on it?
I mean, again, there was like one, I guess, an anime type show that I watched as a child, and it was, I think we've talked about it on here, was some koala show from the 80s.
Oh yeah, somebody typed it in. Was it Scott or somebody that typed it in?
I can't remember. No, I loved it. The one part that I did love from this movie, which I don't know if Pixar would do it again because I feel like it would be just a total carbon copy. I love like how we've talked about it. Was it breaking the third wall?
The fourth wall. Where are you talking about the intro?
Yes.
Perfect. That's where I was going to go next.
The intro and the credits, like not the credits, but the opening. But why am I blanking? The Turning Red logo.
Oh, you're just talking about the whole intro.
The whole intro.
Okay. Yes.
Like that. I just loved so much. I know I didn't talk much about the anime part, but
no, it's okay because it was actually right where I was going to go. Because that was the other thing that was markedly different. Is this like, usually it's like, even with Ratatouille was probably the closest to it maybe with this is me. And he goes into, it's like a freeze frame, but then it's not actually like him like dialoguing it. It just kind of goes back. Mm-hmm. She's actually like dialoguing it.
And looking.
And
I loved it.
Yes.
And I loved where she was like being goofy with the logo and everything. Oh my gosh.
So the chomping and all that other stuff where she's like
this one.
Oh,
yeah.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Because I would have done that at 13. Like if
totally.
that, like just being goofy, I loved it.
Yeah. So like this, you guys can see this that came up, right? The screen share. Yeah. So like for this, like, you've got her like kind of chomping through here and, just doing that, just being silly. And I think that, like it was so different. It was so fresh. I did hear from some folks that they said like, it was maybe the pacing of it was a little off. Or Gio, even in your initial comments, you had kind of said like, wait a minute, you almost had to like calibrate to it. Was that kind of like the first couple minutes, like, wait, what's happening here? It's so different. Or was that just like, what was it about it that kind of stood out a little bit?
I think maybe just like the pacing and the like the way the character spoke because it was really fast and not like it was too fast, but it was like it was almost like getting like, okay, this will be like kind of like how the movie will flow, and once you lock in, you really love it and enjoy it and go on for the ride. But I
think that's legitimate as far as like what other people were kind of saying too. I know that when you talk about speed, I know a couple other people said that too. Like it was like. But I'm glad they did do it fast, because if not, they had to get a lot in there, and then people would have been on the flip side, been like, "This thing is dragging. What am I doing here?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it moving, and then just get it to the story there. I thought it was great as far as the overall there. But okay, so
but you learned so much in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, it was
her environmental friendliness and like her like foursome and how all of the four girls are different, but they come together for Four Town. And how those other three are like boy crazy, but she's not quite yet, so something's coming. Like there was so much in that short little, like just everything. I just thought
it was still enjoyable too. It wasn't like just like shoving information at you. You're like, oh man, this is great. You're like at the speed getting all this information too.
And just being able to like level set to the animation being different too. Like it was kind of cool to like almost be stepped through that. And then did you guys watch Embrace the Panda as well? The making of behind the scenes. So in that, the thing that's really cool is Domi recorded a video of her in like the studio in Pixar for when people would come onto the show and they would get on the movie, a worker, she would show them that video, and she starts out like, I'm Domi Shi, and da-da-da-da-da, and you're going to be working on this movie, and we think it's rad. It's like that, they did like a VHS recording tape of that to kind of like, and it's so cool how that mirrored it. What a great way to bring people onto the film.
Yeah.
Just, gosh, I love it. I love all this awesome stuff. And so, yeah, if you guys haven't watched, if anybody hasn't watched Embrace the Inner Panda, you totally need to.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I actually started to watch it today when I got home from work, but it's long too, which is awesome, which I'm here for too. It's like 44 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Or 48 minutes.
Well, with credits and everything else, the translations.
But still, Erica Milsom.
Yes, Erica Milsom is the director of it.
And he raved about it. Now, she's directed a couple of the, what were they called?
Well, she did Loop with Spark Shorts, and then she did the Inside Pixar.
Yeah, the Inside Pixar.
As well.
And it was like 2 nights ago that you were talking to me about this.
That, yeah.
Just like how the direction, how it felt so intimate, but it was like so cool and like relaxed, how the Pixarians are just like so casual and just like expressing so much more detail with her. So I'm really excited to finish watching it.
Yes. So yeah, I wrote Erica about it, and I said, like, just so you know, it really showed how much it meant to have someone those employees knew welcomed into their home. You're like legit in their house. And like, I'm like, I get to spend like 20 minutes in Danielle Feinberg's house and see like her workspace, how it was like different with the pandemic and everything. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It was so cool. It was just very different. And because usually it's like, you get like
a studio,
a 7-minute chunk in the studio. And
maybe
it's like
on like an adventure, like to the zoo.
Yeah.
Which I know they have that in there too.
That's actually, that's in there too. But it's just, it was different. It felt really cool. It's worth a watch. Okay. So let's talk the characters real quick. So obviously we've talked to May, her friends. I think it's pretty universal that her friends' designs and everything were great.
Top notch.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. No. I was small thing that I was like mentioned when we were on a rewatch. I really love that the color palette. I know this is like stuff we gotta talk about.
No, talk about it. Talk about it. Yes.
I love like the color palettes for everybody, how they have a distinct palette for their whole outfit, and that just like gives them even more of an identity. And
yes.
I thought that was a wonderful little touch for each character too.
Yeah.
You notice more than when you're watching the film. We kind of like see it. Yeah.
Paulina, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I had read an article where Domi said that each character has a certain color because it was inspired by Sailor Moon. How each character in Sailor Moon had their own color. So I thought that was really cool.
I love that.
Diz boy, I love that Paulina's cuddling the plush with the hat on it. because Panda May took a dive after she tried to put him back. Her back.
Yeah.
But yeah, not only that, but like, Giovanni, what you were saying, like as far as like, how they stand out a little bit more. I've raved about the color palette to everybody, to Rona Lu, who was credited with coming up with that color palette. And I know she told me the color palette, but I don't care. I'm still calling it mint turquoise and cotton candy raspberry or cotton candy pink or whatever I called it at that time. But even the basketball court at the school had that teal and the pink, and I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. I loved it so much. Visually, there was so much to love in this. But
you've said that from the very
beginning. Yeah. There was something about it that was really cool. I might be going out on a limb, but let me talk about all the other characters too. So her parents, I absolutely love them.
Love them.
I love the look of the mom just being so put together. That color on her was just perfection, especially obviously opposed to Panda May and the rest of the world. The dad was fantastic. Just so genericized with like the tucked in polo and the pants and everything. But how he walked, I saw one of the artists, and I'm bummed I'm forgetting the name right now, but they posted on Instagram today like that they did the hair groom, and they're like, I got to do the dad's hair groom. And I'm not kidding, when I was watching it, I'm like, man, I like this guy's hair. It looks so good. Like, because it has like the individual like groupings of like, I was like, oh man, that's good. So yeah, his hair looked so good, and I noticed the grandma's hair at the end when she gives the hug, and you could see the back of her head. You could see like where like a I'm going to say barber because I'm used to dudes, but what am I trying to think of here? Hairstylist would cut, and you could see like the layering and everything. It was just so perfect. So watch the hair on this. I feel like even like Miriam's braids when she has them in the back. Did you guys talk about the braids or something?
What do we say?
Remember, you said you pointed out Miriam's hair that you really liked it, like just like that big tuft of hair in the front. Remember?
Oh yeah, she also had like the sides. It was almost like a mullet.
Yes.
Yeah, like a shot cut. I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, it was super cool. And then, but in the back where she had like the braids like at the back of it, it wasn't just like a blunt cut. You could see that some of the hairs were longer than others and everything. It just looked awesome.
Looked normal. Like my hair's not even.
Just taking that one out real quick there. Yep, no problem. Just banning a comment real quick. So it was really like I loved them, all the kids in the school, absolutely fantastic, great variants. Although it's funny if you watch this really close, and believe me, like I said, I watched really close. There was so many of them used again and again. The characters, it was awesome. Like seeing some of the same people walking around town, like where they're walking with their hands behind their back, like strolling down the street and everything.
So what about the Four Town guys?
Oh, Four Town. I love Four Town. You're gonna make me jump right now talking about this, like in terms of like to later.
We're talking about characters.
Okay, the beginning of their concert. Would that not be like a really awesome beginning of the concert to have like the 4, 3, like the countdown? I was like, okay, whoever came up with that legit knows how to pump up a crowd.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was cool because it's Four Town, but I was like, you two had that.
You had it. What'd they do?
They
2,
did a countdown.
1?
No, they did a countdown.
No, I'm talking because it's Four Town, and they're doing 4, 3, 2, 1.
But that's what it reminded me of.
Okay, well, yeah, I've seen
the Elevation tour. I think so.
It probably was. But yeah, I just thought it was neat that they're Four Town. They're counting down from 4. And then, like, of course, like most of those bands, they did some kind of stage reveal. They're in the cage and they bust through it. Yeah. Just silliness. Their designs were fantastic overall. Let me just go here. Like, okay, Tae Young, he fosters injured doves, and the dove has a cast. Like a legit cast. That's so ridiculous. Do you see Miriam's hair here? Oh, it's too blurry. You can't really tell. I did this one because it cracked me up that this boy right here is holding her exact skateboard, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Miriam's skateboard.
Just a reused prop.
It's a reused prop, yeah. John Ratzenberger, Roblox Robot, is asking, not in this film again. We believe that
reign is gone.
That era is over.
Yes.
We talked about it a little bit, but yeah. And interestingly enough,
surprised that he wasn't there.
He's not there.
We were surprised too.
Yeah, that's interesting. But Four Town, it's Ramen Water. Who's your favorite Four Town member? Okay, let's answer this real quick, Julie.
Who does the art?
The one that was like painting?
Yeah.
Oh man, that stinks. I can't remember that.
I thought he was doing clay.
That's Tae Young, right? He went to art school and he also fosters injured doves.
Yeah.
Tae Young is totally my favorite too, just because of the dove with the cast. I mean,
it was gonna be Aaron Z because he's one of the ones just sitting in the back.
Yeah, I love the
dogs back there.
Yeah, they're just like Okay, Paulina, who is your favorite Four Townie? Robert, because he speaks French.
Maybe.
And he's sipping tea and like with the Eiffel Tower in the background.
Okay, there you go. I'll go with that.
Do you guys have one?
I like all 5.
Yeah.
They're great.
Same as TJ
And the way she introduces each one, and it's like, and the other 2, they're pretty.
Yeah,
good.
and then them, yeah.
Why are they called Four Town when there's 5 of them?
Oh yeah, that joke. You know what's funny is that was like our son Leo's. That was one of his favorite jokes. I think it's because he got it. Like it landed for him. He's like, oh, why is that? Like he thought that was like a really
he thought that was like a legit super funny joke.
Yeah, he was like, wow, that is a good question.
There is 5 of them.
So yeah, so no Pete Zone. Do you think Ratzenberger? Oh, well, we can get it. That's a whole nother topic for Monsters at Work Season 2, Cars on the Road, everything like that. Yeah, I don't want to touch into that one right there. Jesse went to art school. Okay, Jesse went to art school. Jesse, thank you, everybody. I love it. So that's awesome. Aaron Z was my favorite for his little wave during May's introduction. Oh yeah, and the connection to 4 being bad luck in China was so smart, where you hear like the auntie that's like, he's gonna be born on the 4th, but I held him into the 5th. And then at the end, the grandma has her like amulet is the 4 town that she's got, you know, her panda locked in again, and it's like, how unlucky. She keeps losing at betting with her friends. Yeah, that was a wonderful tie-in. Now my issue with 4 town, and this can also tie back to a story thing, I totally feel like I needed more 4 town.
Yeah.
Did anybody else feel like that? That 4 town, like you just either wanted more, needed like to see more? Was it? I don't know if it was hear more. I don't know if it was like I need a backstage experience after all
I want
this.
a whole album.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You know what's up. I don't care who you are. That's a jam.
Oh, I sing all of them.
Yeah.
Yes, they're all. They're all
really good.
They're all good, but you know what's up is you know what's up.
I like the other one.
I could totally like see a spin-off or something with 4 Town, but for the movie itself, I thought it was perfect.
Okay, because the only reason I felt like I wanted more is from a story perspective. They were such a central theme and importance to the girls that it's like you got in there. You got to see like 10 seconds of a song, and then it was over. And then I want to like give me the cut scene where Miriam and all of them went to go like convince them to sing and help out at the end. I don't know. I just felt like I wanted more because they were so pivotal to everything that was happening throughout the movie. I know they weren't the main characters.
Oh, see, I thought it was enough for me.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the music wasn't used. I wanted scenes with them. Yeah, I kind of, you know, I could see a little bit more there. Okay, but the one thing that I might be completely bucking the trend on is the aunties. Now, I don't actually have a problem with the aunties from a story perspective, but I want your guys' opinions, and keep me in check. Keep me in check. I don't feel like the designs of them matched anybody else in the whole world. I feel like they were so different, and especially the grandma.
I thought the grandma stood out for me more so than the aunties.
Like, because they did quite a few close-up shots of the grandma's face. But if you see like Captain Dubois from Madagascar 3, that's a deep cut right there. But if you see, like, I'm like, it feels like the villainy, like she's putting on lipstick, just like in that movie.
I think it was just the drastic eyebrows.
Yeah, and you said that. You said the eyebrows. I don't know. There was something about her that I found off-putting, and I don't know. I just felt like those characters were so disjointed in design from the rest of the movie that it took me out of it when they were on the screen. Am I crazy? You can keep me honest or call me crazy, and I'm okay with that.
I guess you're a little. I don't know. I enjoy. I like them. I think I said this to you, TJ. I had no idea that they were going to be in the movie, like not like at all.
That's true. There was nothing. That was a great surprise.
Yeah, it was nice when they showed up because you're like reinforcements. You're like, who is it going to be? You're like, who is she? And then so it's like, oh, okay, it's family. And then I liked how they all again were wearing green, kind of like put the family all together. They just stayed like they were all in that same palette. Thought that was a nice touch, but no, I thought they were fun. I didn't feel that they felt too jarringly different from the other characters.
Okay. It could be. sometimes, there's certain things we like about other things and other things we don't. That one just stood out for me. But I'm glad to hear that in general, like, you said it, Joe said it, that it's not something that seems to be kind of across the board or anything like that. But Gio, you had also talked about the story part of the Antis, which again, I had zero issue with, but like you said, you kind of related to that.
To the Antis?
Yeah. I thought you said you related to it like with just like having so much family over your house, and it's just like overwhelming with like
have aunts, uncles, absolutely, having a big part of your life, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah. I also thought it was funny how the Antis entered were very much how Four Town, like when she was like showing Four Town to her friends at the beginning, like she's like opening that magazine to them, like, and that's how the Antis entered. I was like, ooh, that's kind of interesting that like, now we get this next group of like, and then the grandma now becomes the fifth. So it's like Four Town.
Well, Grandpa was there too.
Well, the grandpa was the guy was that actually the grandpa, or was
grandpa,
that the dude?
Was that the guy who was playing chess?
I thought that was the neighbor guy.
Yeah, okay. Playing chess.
The one who like looks up when she jumps over her head.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can I go on a side tangent with these when the Antis showed up real quickly?
Please.
But this is just because we've had a trend where, and we saw more in this film, there were cats sitting there, and we had cats earlier in the film. Can we just do like, because I'm thinking about it, I don't want to forget about it, that we are, the cat renaissance, Pixar cat renaissance continues.
Yeah.
It could have been dogs, but it wasn't. They were cats.
Little tiny kitten.
Yeah.
But it makes sense with the Chinese culture with like the lucky cat that they would be around, the temple and everything. But you are correct. And thank you, Chris. His name is Mr. Gao. But yes, you are right that the cat renaissance continues, and they keep making them cuter and cuter.
Yep.
I absolutely loved having them there, and that scene. I'm gonna kind of like pause that for a quick second because.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail this.
No, you're not. You're not. I just didn't want to. So yes. So okay. So. Tae Young. The other thing I wanted to get back to with the friends real quick, and kind of some of the humor.
There's the cats.
Oh yeah. Okay, fine. We'll show some of the kitties.
So cute.
It's just.
Oh my goodness.
I mean that's like your dream,
That's
isn't
my
it?
dream.
Yeah.
I want a big orange kitty cat, and I want to name it Queso.
Oh, that's cute.
So in talking about just like funny, the other thing that like literally I could have probably spent even more time on, and I will once this comes out on 4K. Yeah. Like there are these kind of things throughout the whole movie that book drive. Bring your old books to school and my folks will drive them home this Friday. Like this movie is funny. The crew was having fun, and you can feel it. And they were doing things like this. It's so hilarious. There's signs like this. I tried to read this one a couple times. It just keeps saying it's like an open house, and it's like, well, you can come in, it'll be open. It'll be open. Yeah, it's the whole film has all these like hilarious things just scattered in the background. Other kind of, obviously this one that was there too. Okay, I'm going to come back over here for a second. The extreme lighting and zooming, that was all part of the anime stuff. Oh, the other thing that I told you, and this is total, like, it just makes me laugh, is, like, May is so organized that she erases, when she's doing her homework, and she erases her homework.
And I cannot, it bothers me now.
About the trash can?
Yes.
Yeah. So she's got the trash can in her room, May does. And she takes her eraser dust and she takes a ruler. She's so organized and together that she like erases it. And like most of us, you just dust it on the floor. And you're like, well, I'll vacuum that up later. But she's like straight in the trash can. I don't buy that it would have been a wire mesh trash can though, because then it would have went right through the trash can and she wouldn't have handled that. But it works better from a design standpoint.
Because you can see.
Because then you see as she's throwing all her drawings away and everything. And then later when the grandma comes.
But still, now I'm like, no. Oh, you are right.
I pointed it out on our first one. I'm like, that goes against character design.
Yeah.
She would have been like, Mom, I need a bag in here or something. Yeah. But that animation, and like for anybody else, I want to know if there was moments of animation that that really stood out for you guys. I'm noticing that Ultimate Pixar Fan just happened to say, what happened to the stream? So yeah, if for some reason if there's something going on and you guys are noticing something in the chat, or if it's glitching or anything, let me know in the chat there. But yeah, so the animation when she is literally drawing and she's like getting those first twinges of Devin, and she's like, I guess he has nice shoulders, and then she's like, and she does this amazing bottom jaw rocket side to side. I guess he's fine. Like, that animation was so good.
There was
so
lot
good.
Of really awesome animation.
Yes. Was there anything that kind of stood out, not even just in that moment, but for you? What are you pointing at?
Them.
Oh, you.
Yeah, they can.
Well, Gio, I want to know, obviously, your perspective. You're in this, you're living it, but, Ashley, Paulina, think about it as well. Was there anything that kind of like jumped off the screen from an animation perspective? And it's okay if it doesn't come to mind right now. And Nader is saying that drawing scene was my favorite. And Christo's saying it should have been a clear trash. Exactly. That way you could still see it. But
if we're gonna go for animation, I will say, like, because we were talking about the expressions earlier, but I'll say, especially for like characters like Abby, like I think like the way the animation was pushed, I think was like, how fun would that have been? Because when you're animating normally, you're always told to like pull it back, tone it down, because I feel like you always push it more and then tone it back, and then but this time it was like, no, go to 11 and on all these expressions. And I mean, that was like some of the funniest stuff to me. Wasn't even like verbal things. It was just like character reactions, little character moments. So,
yes.
I mean, there was like points in this film that could have been like no dialogue at all. And I feel like the expressions on the character could have still sold the story.
Yeah.
They were that good. So.
Yeah, they absolutely were. All her reactions where she's like, they're all on the bleachers and she's like, I need to eat. I'm going to pass out. And then she just falls over.
Yeah.
Obviously, Marco, the Pizza Planet truck, if people don't recognize that name off the top, in our chat thread, he kept doing the one of Abby's face with the burp, like where it's all like exaggerated and huge. I actually think I have that one. Yeah, like, just that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
She looks like Uncle Ugo.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, just you're right. Her in general would have been an absolute blast to animate on. Anything else that you guys have that wants to like jump off the screen, or anything that we should bring up from an animation perspective?
I mean, that whole party scene is insane. Every part about it is like every background character, everybody's doing something crazy.
They are.
It's so fun.
I love how, so many of them are bored in the corner, and then like May will come over and wrap her tail around them and drag them into the party or whatever.
She just like flips the couch at one point, just like throws them off.
Yeah, just get out of here. Okay, so Ro is asking, do we find A113? Yes. That we're going to talk Easter eggs coming up real soon. But so Paulina, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, and I think we had talked about this animation before, when in the classroom when she poofs into the panda.
Yes.
I just love that.
You're talking about like the actual like poof, like the special effect, or
poof?
Everything?
Yes, the special effect, all of that whole little scene there. Like she poofs, right? And if you pause it, and then you just see the expression, the way she's just coming. It's just amazing. And then all the kids that are being pushed by her energy up against the window, right? And the walls. And everyone has a different expression. Some are scared, some are shocked, some are just being squished, And then you just feel her amazing her power, her energy of those uncontrolled feelings that she's feeling at that moment. I just love that. And then from the concert and on, it's just amazing animation. It's just
All that stuff in the
away.
You mean all the stuff in the forest and everything?
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go for it, Ashley.
The dad cooking at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
So beautiful.
So I had read some people that were saying, like, is that distracting how he's kind of doing that all of a sudden out of nowhere, or was it a cool cutscene?
I thought it was
a great introduction for him too.
Yeah, because then it like goes to him with his glasses and it looks like super cool, and then he just like wipes them off. And he's like,
yeah. I personally loved it as far as like, he goes, and it's just like, then it's like you're in their house. It's just so.
Well, it makes it seem like he's more like just like, I don't know, like, oh my, like he's gonna be some chef, and it's just like, no, it's just an ordinary dad.
Yeah.
Like I loved that juxtaposition kind of thing.
I love that it pays off in the end too, when Ming invites all her friends back to the house, and she's like, you guys want to come over? And they're like, for your dad's cooking? Yeah. Like, it's so cool that it pays off in the end for that. So, okay. What about her mom? So Ming herself, is she like, so at times I was like, I love that it's portrayed this way. They talked about it a lot in the interviews that we did with the crew about how, like she's portraying the tiger mom and all that kind of stuff. And, how they're okay with that their moms had elements of that. They see some of that in themselves. And I think there's something, there's a good side to that as well. You're not only protecting your kid, but you're showing them expectations. But at times, I was like, did it go too far? Was she almost delusional? So there was two elements. One was, I didn't buy that she didn't know her daughter liked Four Town, because her daughter had the CDs in her bedroom. And like her mom is so in her life, she would have seen those CDs there.
That's true.
I thought. And then the pads at the school, I thought was also like, her mom was so about perfection. Would she actually do that in public? I get that it had to like, push it over, but was she that crazy, or was like, I don't know. I guess it just is showing how strong and opinionated.
Yeah, because she went to the Daisy Mart.
She did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think she's just so overprotective. She wasn't thinking straight. So when she thought that she needed, to bring her pads and stuff, she was like, this is a great idea. This is how I can help.
And I guess that mirrors in the end when she doesn't even believe that her daughter, like, she blames her friends. Like, how dare you put her thoughts into these thoughts into her head to make her do this? She kind of is, in a way, like, so overprotective that she won't even let herself believe that her daughter would do this, would lie, would come up with this idea. And that's part of her growth, I guess, as well, too. That Ming's character. But I like that she was afraid of her mom, too. She's all confident. The phone rings, and she's like, "I'm not here."
Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
Can I say one thing about the mom?
Please.
Because I'm a huge Grey's Anatomy fan. I don't know if anyone else is.
Sandra Oh, yeah.
The second I heard her, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Christina Yang. And then, like, after the first few lines, I didn't even hear her anymore. It was kind of like, I couldn't hear Sandra Oh anymore. At first I could, and then it just kind of went away, and she became her own character, which I really loved.
Yes.
Because sometimes you get hung up on the voice if it's a celebrity where that's all you see. You just picture them. So, but I didn't do that. But I was very excited.
We talked about that in here before too. Like, I've had that problem. Like, I could never detach Ty Burrell from Bailey. I could never detach Caitlin Olsen from Destiny. Like, those two characters specifically, I was like, I can never pull them off and just let them be the character. But like, I was able to do that almost against all odds with Jamie Foxx and Soul. I mean, since I was like super little in Living Color, like, I was seeing him on TV, and it's like, how did I pull myself out to not hear just Jamie Foxx? But it works. Sometimes it really works, and you're right, with Sandra Oh, she was able to fully like become this character in such a cool way. Just out of a sideways note, too, we did a vocal cast interview, and Sandra Oh was there. And she was like literally the best person of any of the vocal cast interviews we've been a part of to carry the whole interview and everything forward. Like, especially because she had a lot of the younger cast there with her that, you know, maybe haven't been in as many projects as Sandra Oh has. And they would kind of get tripped up in a question, and she would just bring them right back in, or she would just...
She was almost like moderating.
She was moderating better than the moderator, and that's no ding on the moderator, but she's just been to so many of these. She could tell when somebody needed to be pulled along, or when the question, like, let's go to the next one. And she just literally moved it through. Like, she was the best moderator of any, like, interview. And she wasn't even the moderator. It was so good. And yeah, so Sandra has done a ton of animated vocal acting as well. Ro, you had asked earlier, is that the story with the pads that really happened to Domi Shi? No, Domi Shi had her mom actually outside her school when she came out of school from middle school one day, but it wasn't, her friends kind of noticed, like, what's with that crazy lady over there? And her mom did have sunglasses on, like, watching. But no, she did not really bring the pads to school.
I think it's that Dot who said that's one of your favorite lines.
Where am I
Ultimate
looking?
Pixar fan.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Who do they think they are? Celine Dion? I don't know.
You say that all the time.
I don't know why that hit me so well, but that just floored me.
Okay, first off, it was so accurate because we met in the 90s working at a CD store.
Yeah.
And Celine Dion and the moms that would come in to buy Celine Dion.
Oh, yeah.
That was like, where's my Celine Dion?
Yeah, they were very, very hardcore Celine Dion.
I thought that was awesome. That was a funny joke.
Ties in perfectly
especially
with
Toronto.
Ties in perfectly with the Canada connection as well. But I watched that animator that did that, also just perfection. I watched the animator that did that. Like, she has the middle finger on the thumb, and she's just like, you know, just, who does she think she is? Celine Dion? Who do they think they are? Celine Dion? It just how she props up and everything. Man, that was some great animation. And great delivery on the line too. Like, you know, from Sandra Oh. Mm-hmm. Just so good. Yeah, they have, and we worked with a guy that was obsessed with Celine Dion.
He was.
Okay.
Literally followed her.
Yeah. So the best story of his is
he
used to send out a Christmas card every year, and he would because we worked at the music store at that time. Music store employees could have some pull. Like, I got free tickets to NSYNC, and like, you know,
their heyday.
In the heyday, and I didn't even necessarily want to go. I felt horrible that there was like little girls that were like, I want to go, and I'm like 10th row, like, okay. We got to meet a whole bunch of people. It was like a different time with CD stores. You could actually like have like pull to get in concerts, which is weird. But so this guy that was obsessed with Celine Dion used his pull to get into her concert every year. And then his Christmas card that he would mail out to everybody was his backstage photo. Every year he'd be like, Merry Christmas from Tim and Celine.
He'd always...
See, this guy was nuts. He really loved her. He really loved her.
It was
cute. Shout out to Julie as addressing me as the ultimate pick. Of course, always. Yes, and the hand gesture she did made it funnier. Do we want to take a divergence from here and hit some of the Easter eggs?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, let me, I gotta close out of this one real quick. I'll come over here, click my Easter egg folder.
Ooh, there's a lot.
And I put them in sequential order throughout the movie. So, are you sure you want to open 27 items? Yes, I do. So it's 27 frames that we're going to be talking about here.
Wow, sorry.
So some of them are just reused. Some of them are references. Some of them are reused elements. You know, so not all of them can fully classify as Easter eggs, but we do have, of course, all the main ones as well. But of course, this with Nightfall is obviously for Twilight. And Roberta Moyer is the author. Now, there's two things that this could potentially be. I think it's still probably more of a play off of Stephanie Meyer, but there is a Rob Moyer that works at Pixar. So that's a potential thought.
I feel like it's that.
You feel like it's for Rob Moyer? The only thing is he hasn't. I don't think he was involved with this particular project. So that would be the only thing that made me doubt it. that I questioned it. Okay, so next one. So in this one, where they're interviewing here, you've got the 1980 Winter Games, which this poster is just a reference in case anybody doesn't know. Does anybody know what it references?
The Red Wings.
It references the 1980 Winter Games at the Olympics, and it was for the Miracle on Ice. They made the movie Miracle about it.
Yeah.
And this is about that. Very apropos that it was the United States against the USSR. So yes, it was dubbed the Miracle on Ice. There's a movie about it there.
Right.
This particular screen where she's getting on the bus, there's Dee's Vintage Fashion, and that is for Deanna Marsigliese that works at Pixar, and she posted this today. I thought it, and then she...
That's what we said, because we're like, that is like her aesthetic.
Yep, she's got that classic 50s, 60s vibe that she always goes for, and she said, like, you know, she was complete, that she got an Easter egg reference in one of the films.
Oh, to have an Easter egg reference, like a Pixar Easter egg reference of yourself, or to have a car, a die-cast car, like, named after you, is, like, ultimate. Like, done.
If you've gotten that, you've made it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you could do after
or
that.
maybe like a small little, like, voice.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, no!
Oh my goodness, no! Okay, let's write the line
Maybe
now.
a happy one.
Okay, so I'm seeing if there's anything else that kind of came in here. We'll go back over here. This next one, we get the Bao restaurant sign right as she's getting off of the tram, as far as to go to her house or to her temple/house. So you get that one there. And then as they're walking here, and she's still giving some of this is right at the end of that intro monologue, you get a couple Easter eggs. You get Sid's skull, which is on the bottom of the skateboard here. We still don't know what this thing is. We've been looking a lot at it. Looks like some kind of fish alien thing. But then you get the Lightyear logo. And then you also get Socks the Cat sticker.
Is that maybe one of the aliens?
I wondered that too. Is it
Robots?
all Lightyear?
Yeah.
Is it all Lightyear tied in?
Like it's just upside down?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, well then what's this one? I don't know what this one above Socks is either.
I don't know.
I know, it's like it's driving me nuts. I can't wait till I can get this thing on 4K so I can zoom in and actually get some like high-res shots here. I mean, right now these are just screen caps out of, watching it over Disney Plus, which it has varying resolutions.
That's one of those things you wish they put in the art of book, like those like tiny little decals, almost you'd always you miss, but then they put them in large in the book. Oh man.
Yeah. In fact, where did you put that? Oh, it's over there.
It's way.
I'll have to get it. But the best thing, did anybody either in the chat or did you guys get the Art of Turning Red book?
Not yet.
Okay, so perfect. I know our friend Jeff just got it, and he was like ready to crack it open as well. But her sketchbook that she does, I'm gonna grab it before we get off this stream. But it is so awesome. The inside, there's like an inlet stuffed in that is her sketchbook that she does of all the drawings of her and Devin and all the others. And by the way, that's one of my favorite things too, when Ming is looking at the drawings and she turns it sideways like it's like a centerfold. Like she's like, oh. So yeah, they're saying the critters, maybe that is, something that's there. Could the green thing be Arlo? It didn't look like it had that Arlo-y shape. Robot from Toy Story 2, maybe. Al's Toy Barn. I'll just put that up there, even though he's joking there. Yeah, the Art of book
fun
was.
fact.
What?
Al's Toy Barn.
What about it?
That's my license plate.
Yeah. Indeed. Okay, next one. Now, of course, Gio.
Oh my gosh, I love.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Gio, take us home. How excited were you?
Loved. Oh, with Bart and Lisa, so happy.
We like turned to each other. We were like, what? We were so excited.
So, for anybody that doesn't know, Gio is not only a rabid Pixar fan, but he's also a Simpsons fan.
Huge.
And he collects a lot of things. Transformers, Ghostbusters, but the Star Wars going down that road. But yes, definitely your Simpsons collection is quite impressive. You have all of the what line of figures?
World of Springfield.
The World of Springfield, yes.
How many are there?
Oh, geez, I never even counted. That's a great.
I've lost count. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
But Leia, thank you. Yeah, but love me my Simpsons. So here in Bart and Lisa, I wonder who thought to put that in there. But what a lovely little nod.
Yes, I loved that it was there too, because I'm like, all right, like that's hilarious, subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
subtle. Okay, let me zoom this one out a little bit. Of course, you've got the Burrow sticker, which we've seen before. Mm-hmm. So the cat, the bunny from Burrow, the cat. And here's one that a couple people I saw online had also found, and I was bummed because I was hoping to do it. The Triple Dent Gum. Triple Dent Gum, it'll make you smile. So, yep, it's here, and it also resides at the counter here after they're all laughing. It's also over here, Triple Dent.
That's a lot.
Yeah, they're replacing other gums with Triple Dent gums.
It's taken over.
Yeah, it is. It's. I mean, they do. Think about how much gum you would have to sell in order to sponsor a race car, because they have the race car that's sponsored in Cars 3. I mean, that's a lot of gum.
Yeah.
So that's a popular chew right there. Okay, so then we go down a little bit more. This one's dark. I don't know if you guys... We've seen this in the trailer, and we talked about it as well. Can you see the pearl hang? The backpacker keychain that's back there as well? So you have that one. And then we also talked about this in the trailer, but in the effort of just, disclosing everything, the Tim Hortons Timbits, which also reside at Tyler's house during his party. Mm-hmm. So that one is there. This particular globe should stand out to some people, as it has been in many Pixar films as the globe from the first Toy Story. And if you even notice, you've got the yellow, you've got the orange, the blue, the purple, you've got yellow and red here, so it's matching straight up with those colors, just in reverse, because she's looking in the mirror, obviously.
That thing's got some mileage.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it definitely does. It has been in so many movies. So let's see. You've got Carter Murphy Mayhew here wearing the Escapula shirt, which I saw Josh posted this one today too, and I was like, oh, of course Josh posted it from the Pixar freak, the Coco fan that he is. His username is Pixar Freak. But that is the band from Coco. That's in there, Escapula. Which is we talked about that when we were doing our Coco review. It's also it's like that back, I think it's like the back shoulder bone or something like that. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's a bone, which works perfect for a band of skeletons. We talked about this in the trailer too, but in the upper corner, you've got the Papel Picado. That's also from Coco. And not as great to see, but they've got the political in there. The Yes We Did, the Obama sticker that's in there. So somebody set dressing threw that one in there from his campaign. Over on the side, when they're first going in the bathroom, you will see the Kitbull logo, which is Rosie Sullivan's Spark short that she had done. And then also in that same bathroom scene, right when Stacy's like, I didn't imagine it, you've got yourself a Finding Nemo sticker on the stall door as well. With Abby, I mean... And by the way, did you guys see the dude that put the Pocky sticks in his hair and looks like Abby.
Yeah. That was great.
I think everybody
It was
has
like everywhere.
Yeah, has re-shared that one because that is hilarious.
That's amazing.
Yeah. They should have. I'm disappointed they didn't do a sponsor with Timmy's. You got to do one there.
Yeah.
Dalek, it stands out. So I'm just going to see if there's anything else that's come up so far that I've missed. Then we'll go right back to it. Brendan's saying their Obama sticker. We found Nemo. All right, so we've got that there. Then you've got yourself a blue umbrella reference. Which
oh my gosh, look at that.
Which this is right when Panda May, or May at this point, rings the doorbell at Tyler's house, which, by the way, Tyler's parents are loaded. That house is...
That's a nice house.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, I'll go over there. But yeah, his parents have the blue umbrella reference.
Toronto's expensive, too.
I know. And you've got yourself, while she's giving rides at the party, you've got the Pixar ball floating in Tyler's pool. That is an exciting one to find, and maybe you'd like a little bit of a wider view of that one. It's also down here. We knew about this one before. I took the same screenshot that the Pizza Planet truck is when she's, breaking away from doing the ceremony. Somebody asked a little bit earlier about A113. You actually have two references. One of them is on the chalker as the dad is going around and doing his... circle, so that way he can get his now giant panda wife into the circle. This is not really an Easter egg, but just more references that when they're doing this ceremony, it's Pizza Planet is a sponsor of that dome, the Sky Dome. And here,
I just looked that the tour is called the Breaking Free Tour for town.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. As far as like breaking
Like
free,
she's breaking-
like of her like ties
Yeah.
and bounds. Yeah. This is
It could
what.
be a High School Musical reference. I'm just saying.
Oh! What do you got? I don't know it. What is it?
Breaking Free. That's like the big High School Musical song. I'm not gonna sing it.
I'm ready. Are you tuned?
Come on, let's hear it. How does that one go again?
Is your instrument tuned?
No. But no, it's like the big High School Musical song. It's probably not a reference though, but
Hey, you
That's
know
what I
what?
thought
There's a
it
lot
could
of
be.
people that work at that studio that are in that bracket too, and they could have been just as easily influenced. So we'll do it as a double on that one. For this one, you'll have not only the reference of the Blue Jay, which of course ties in, come on, move over for me, which also ties in nicely to Toronto Blue Jays, the baseball team. But then you also have, this is the Blue Jay that's from Doug Days. The one that talks with Russell.
Wow.
And then you also have this bulldozer construction vehicle here, which we have called out several times. It's Tri-County, but it is in Inside Out. This is what pushes Bing Bong's wagon into the memory dump. And then it's also in Toy Story That Time Forgot. Then your second reference to A113 is in Les Credits, and that is either her seat or section or something like that that's on the tickets is A113 that's in the credits. So that is what I have to share. Easter eggs.
Awesome.
Did anybody else find anything else? I want to see if there's something else that was potentially missed in there. And I thought it was cool, even in the credits. They said, yes, Rogers Center, because that's what the Sky Dome is now. They even had to say the Sky Dome, like it's in like a separate call out, is registered to now Rogers Center, da-da-da-da-da. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, if there's anything else that's missing, I'm going to be doing a post about this, and I'm going to be putting them in the forum as well to continue to try to dive into it. Is the bulldozer also an up? I'll look into it. 80 miles, 80 MWH, I'll look into it. A113 is also in the art books. I gotta look at that again too. Did I miss it there? So yeah, there's tons of them. It's always so much fun. But okay, what else do we have here? I think the other thing that I wanted to touch on
Well, I have one thing.
Please.
That was my one critical note that I didn't like.
All right.
It's
Ashley.
I know. I'm sorry. It's when the mom, and I don't like this in a lot of movies, when somebody turns giant, they talk like this. Like they just like, it's slow and it's like crazy sounding. No, every giant should talk like the giant in the Mickey and the Beanstalk, Jack and the Beanstalk. That giant talks like a normal voice. I don't like when things get like giant size and they talk slow. Drives me nuts. I don't know why, but that was my only issue that I was like, okay, it took me out of it because that's how much I don't like the talking. I get it.
I actually brought it up to Drew Taylor as we were kind of like talking through some of the things we were going to talk here before he got pulled away. He said, well, that's probably somewhat of the size of the character would mean. Like if you think about like a polar bear or a bear, or a lion, they're bigger than like a house cat. They're like, ew. A lion's like, it's just so much bigger that it's going to have that more resonance to it.
But it's just like the slower talk. It's just the slowness of it that I just don't like. It takes me out of it. Like I've never liked it in a lot of things, and when I think of giants and like how they talk, I'm like, oh, it's the Jack and the Beanstalk one.
You've carved that in your memory.
Yes, that happy giant.
Yeah. Well, I think there's something to it. I agree. I don't mind necessarily the resonance, the bass of it. I was only giving Drew's take, but I'm with you on the slowness.
The slowness, the bass can be fine. Like I get that, but the slowness has always drove me nuts.
Yes, and there's been like we had like the twist villains for a while. We had all these other like things. We've got the giant like resurgence going on now. Like, what is with all the movies and the giants? Like, the giant Wreck-It Ralph, and then what's another one that I'm just thinking of that just happened too? I don't know. There's. I thought of it the other day.
That too. It was talking like
he's
talking
like
slow.
No,
friend.
Yeah. Why do they have to get stupider too?
Yeah.
When she was coming around the corner in the city as a big giant, he looked over and he's like, "It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man." That was literally all I could think of afterwards.
That was a really cool shot.
It was like exactly the same as what it looks like in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, so. just that big. Boom, that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
That was my one thing that I
My brother and I were saying Mingzilla. It could have been a reference to Godzilla as well. And Mingzilla. I noticed that Panda May was referred to as Mingzilla in the Art of book. There we go. I think if the voices were big and deep at normal pace, the echo would be too much for the words to be understood. Oh, interesting. They can control the echo, though, but it would feel weird if they weren't echoing a lot, though. So maybe that's part of it.
I don't know. Maybe I'd have to hear it just to know.
Thank you, Dan. 22 in Seoul. That was the other giant that just happened at the end there, where she swallows up Joe.
Oh yeah.
After she turns into Yeah. So thank you, Dan. You stayed along for this whole thing and you couldn't join us. Dan, get in here.
Yeah. On the sidelines.
So I gotta say, the thing that, if I think about my favorite part of this movie that I'm going to put on over and over again, it is literally the moment from right after the girls come in the room with her and she realizes that her friends calm her down and she's like, Mir, you better get out of here. My mom doesn't even like you. And she's like, wait, what? Slam. So from that moment, when her parents are giving her the test to see if she can turn into the panda, that set off my laughter of craziness. So, deforestation, sad orangutan, your second place spelling bee trophy. And then you can see the dad, he just knows what to do without being told. He's just goes and gets the box. Great direction. I don't know if this came from Domi or the story team, but walking in with the camera perspective on top of the box and then set it down in front of her. when that thing opened up and the cats are like literally crawling up her and the camera's above her again, I was just like, this is hilarious. This movie has now moved from good to stinking hilarious. Yeah. So that part got me. Then it cuts to her doing Four Town Why I Must Go, the presentation.
Yeah,
and
that's a great scene.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It really is.
So Gio, did you have something you wanted to say about that one, or just that it was like it stood out?
I really like mom and dad in that scene. I think that like the contrast of them in that scene is really great. I think it makes them both even funnier, just like seeing how they're reacting to it so differently, and then the aftermath after she leaves, which I also love when she just like does that smile at the end. She's like, okay, well, great, and like grabs everything. That's hilarious, and like just like start to finish, that's a great scene. Yeah, and of course we end with
Celine Dion
freaking out about her mom. Yeah, Celine Dion. Yeah, that's a really good one.
And then the phone call right after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love the fact, first off, how hilarious is it that she does essentially comparing Four Town to Mozart, Beethoven, Chopin, and Haydn. Yeah. And then, did you guys notice that she puts on her mom's blazer to kind of like even be like more astute? And, so it's got like that emerald with the high, like the shoulder pads that are exaggerated and everything. And then, like you said, Gio, the fact that they're like, they cut back and she's like, okay, thank you. Just, goes with it. The Celine Dion. That's also when they go to the dream sequence. Like, why do you even want to see them so bad? And, so she gets, here's like, is that like the Sailor Moon pose? She gets like proposed to by Robert. They're all like, "Ooh!" And then, of course, there's this scene where they're drinking like cherry cola soft drink with them, and just the ridiculousness of it all is hilarious. And then it kind of circles back to the presentation. So the next day they're doing the dodgeball at school, and she's like, "That presentation was bomb.com. I cited all my sources, and I even had sparklers." Like, I loved like that whole thing. This isn't just our first concert. This is our step into womanhood. It's so exaggerated. So exaggerated. So, the twist that I was pleased with, there was 2 twists in this that I absolutely loved. And I don't know if everybody would classify them as twists, but I did. So Stacy and the other friends come into the bathroom, and they see Panda May as actually Panda May because Abby just wants a little taste. Just give me a taste. Like, but
give me a hit.
Give me a hit. Give me a hit.
Yeah.
Give me a hit.
That was funny.
Which that's probably one of those lines that some of those people had a problem with, but
I'm here for it.
Yeah, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I love the twist that I thought immediately as soon as she was found out in school, they were going to be against her. They were going to like be like, "You're weird, you're a freak." Mm-hmm. I love that the school was into it immediately. I don't know, did anybody else feel like it was going to kind of go the other way? And then,
I thought it was going to go the other way. I thought they were going to be like terrified.
Or scared or whatever, or like, "Oh my God, you were who was on the news that was like blowing up our school." Like, You guys, anything?
No. I thought I thought that they were gonna be scared, but it was great. It was again a nice how you were talking about earlier, Julie. How just nice that like how the friends like it's a great message. It's great that kids were like, "You're great. Let's all get along. You're awesome. You're different." It was just nice. It was nice for a change.
Yep. Also, smart writing. I loved so now you're at the point where they're on the bleachers. They've already kind of like started to like hustle the panda and utilize that. So I like the writing in the precursor that she was going to attack Tyler and see herself differently. Because when he was trying to make that deal with her, you could see he was slightly scared and intimidated when she came and lunged at him a little bit as the panda. Mm-hmm. So I like that it was like, they were letting you know this is gonna go further, and they're kind of like teasing it a little bit. So speaking of the other twist then that I liked was Tyler. I love the fact, again, the acceptance thing. They didn't give Tyler a hard time when they saw him at the Four Town concert. They were like, "You're a townie too!" Yeah. And they just ran over to him. And you want to know how deep it goes? I loved the fact that at the end, they made him one of their friendship bracelets too.
Oh man, that's great.
That.
I mean, like, I love the fact that he came around. It wasn't like, you know, the standard, like, oh, we're going to be like the struggle. And it was great because it did pay off, though, because Abby did the no Tyler's sign when he wanted to get a picture with her.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I like the fact that they came around to him right away. It was just like, you're a Four Townie too. Now you get us. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what you're talking about.
You get us. Like, I remember that. Like, when, like, someone likes something you like, you're like, you get me.
Yeah.
You understand me. It's kind of like you guys. Like, I feel like we all get each other.
Pixar was the defining, like, we got each other because of it.
Mm-hmm. But I will say, I'm, like, obsessed with those yellow heart glasses that they were all wearing. I looked on Amazon because I want to make some for us. I like need a pair.
You need a pair. Well, let's find Julie a pair. So Lara pointed out a lot of, we talked about this actually prior to coming on here too. It was really cool. She's in Canada. She talked a lot about the authenticity of Canada throughout this. So I'll put that up there again. Just love that the blue $5 bills and how they were made of paper and not plastic, because they actually got rid of using paper fiber in Canada, and now they're using a plasticky feel now. So she's like, but in 2002 they still would have been paper. So she's just talking about, like, she listed out like all these awesome authenticities as well. Tyler, you're a Four Townie?
Why don't we do that?
Do what?
Plastic money.
It's probably at this point because who's using cash anymore?
That's true.
I got Apple Pay for that. Okay, there was a couple other things just visually. I always loved all the spotlighting. How cool was this scene?
Yeah,
just gorgeous. I mean, like, if you can't just, I mean, this has been done in movies before. And I'm failing to remember the movie. Does anybody remember this? Where they've done these kind of just outside the window with the street lights reflecting off of it as the character is like pensive. Yeah, but I love it. I also love that if you catch the frame just right, every time there's like a collision of monsters, or even the night where there's the thunderstorm, the visual looks exactly like this. And so, like, the night she gets turned into the panda, and now she's gonna like go back. So this is where she's like resisting getting rid of the panda, and it's the exact same like frame of the black and white with these streaks like this. It's also a quick flash when she it hits her mom in the head. But then I also just wanted to share this one with like just like the crazy beauty of this. I love the fact that all these leaves are falling throughout the entire time. And goodness gracious, when she gets to see her mom young, that was great. I think that was maybe the most tear-inducing moment of the movie.
Yeah, it got me in that scene.
Yeah, we were crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there any other moments that got you guys in this one from a tear standpoint? I only got misty at that point. I didn't have any roll down or anything.
I didn't cry. What about you, Paulina?
Yeah. They were just emotional these days, okay?
So the moments when I think it was twice. One time when she was in her bedroom and she gets in fetal position and she gets her little plush and she just hugs it,
with her friends, and she reaches for it and pulls it in.
Yeah. And then the second part was when her friends came in. And then they accepted her and stuff, but then she said, I can't go to the concert, right? And she starts crying and she goes back on the floor, And I thought that was beautiful because she's like, go ahead and be women without me. But yet she's on the floor in fetal position, hugging her little plush. So it's like that she's torn between
those two worlds.
Childhood and and trying to go into adulthood,
Yeah.
I thought that was just beautiful, and it just got me.
So many metaphors like that throughout the whole thing. Some of them on the surface, like that one. Some of them deeper beneath the surface, just the panda in general. I talked to Julie that, again, I loved the animation in one of those moments, too, where Miriam has the idea, you can go, too. You guys got to watch it again if you didn't notice it already, where she jumps up, Miriam hits Priya and Abby's shoulders, jumps up on them and kicks her legs. Like, I'm just like, dang, this animation crew did so good with just these subtle yet extreme motions and things like that.
Like, there's another, can I say one little other thing that I liked? when poor May is just running around like the panda after she blew up in school, and Mom is trying to catch up to her, and they stop and they show Mom taking off her shoes. Yes. I thought that was a beautiful moment, because it was just like a mom will do anything, just to go and save their child. So I just thought that was beautiful.
Okay, Ashley, you heartily agree with that one.
Very excited about that. Thank you for bringing that up. I thought I was the only one excited because she took her shoes off, and I started she took her shoes off to chase her, because that never happens ever. There's always a chase, and a girl's wearing heels, and she took her shoes off. I was like, yes, that's right.
Yeah. Did anybody else wonder about all the moms, the aunties, everything like that? Why do they carry like their amulet on them?
I think maybe they had to.
Oh yeah. Do you have to always have it with you, or else?
Got to be connected to you.
I just wondered, I'm like, man, if it cracks, if it breaks, like they got earrings on some of these. If like one of those falls off and it busts out again, it's like you got to wait till another red moon to get put back.
Right. One does the little like this on the ring. I'm like, how fragile is that thing?
I'm like, put these things in a vault. The other thing was that I questioned too, that made me wonder. Oh, the grandma gives May this like big warning. It feels good to let the panda out, doesn't it? And the more you do it, the harder it is to put it back. And if you do it enough, the ritual won't work, and you're going to be this forever. So like when she says you're going to be that forever, like does she mean she's going to be the panda forever?
I took it as she'll be popping back and forth forever, like how she chose to stay.
Okay.
That's how I took it.
Okay. I was wondering that. I'm like, man, is this literally meaning she's going to be the panda forever? Because if that's the case, they should be like, no, you can't choose to keep this thing. You got to do this ritual. So let's see. What else did I have here? There was one or two other things that I had. The dad scene. Okay, Gio, talk about the dad scene. You were excited about that one from the get-go.
That scene. I don't know what that whole, like, just because like the whole movie, he's almost like a comedic relief character, really, the whole movie. Like he.
when she's like, you can stay here and hang out with Dad.
Oh,
and he's like, huh? And then she's like, no, I'm going. He's like, oh.
Yeah, moments like that. Yeah, that was hilarious throughout the whole movie. So to have that emotional moment with him finally, and I just love that scene of them talking and how he really opens up, and I just really just love that whole from him finding the footage to that. Yeah, really loved it.
I thought the same thing, and I was like, the thing that stood out for me on him there were two things. One, the angle that they chose and the way he held his finger when he's like, she's like, when did you see Mom, or what was the argument over? And he's just like, 'cause of me. Like that angle, like, was so good. And then I also, I think is it Orion Lee, the guy that did, Orion Lee that did Jin Lee, his voice. That delivery, to let him have the timing when you're accelerating, getting to this ritual, and if you listen to that delivery, it is so good. His vocal acting, like I couldn't imagine, I'm not an actor, that's why. I couldn't imagine getting to that headspace where you're literally like breaking it all down and you want to have this moment with your daughter and you're just like, I get it. I see. That's a great vocal acting performance there, especially as you said, and it pays off even more because he's the goofball, you know, like a lot of the movie, you know, and like even though the grandma's like, where is Jin? And he's like, oh, clear this table. Okay. You know, I'm glad that he ended up not being a bumbling fool and was such a hero to the story and making her realize that, you know, I even wrote the point isn't to push the bad stuff away, but it's to make room for it, live with it, erase it if you want. But this side of you made me laugh. Like his dad saw something else in his daughter, and like that was like man, watching that back, that to me was more impactful the second or third time. Just after you know how everything's going to play out.
Can we also talk about the post-credit scene of him in the basement?
Yes! He's the ultimate supportive dad. He's like, he's all into it. He's learning the dances. And was he Jesse or one of the other Aarons?
I think was it Jesse?
I think it might have been Jesse that he had the glass.
I thought it was Jesse.
Oh, look at your timing bringing it up as Laura says the post-credit scene. Yeah, so it like that was great. I wanted it to be longer though. It was so brief. I just wanted to laugh at him trying to do the dance moves and sing a little longer. Okay, music. I also want to talk about music. And I was, so Drew had mentioned this on his podcast. So Drew Taylor, again, he does a whole bunch of stuff, but he's also has the Fine Tuning podcast with Jim Hill. And he had said on his episode, and I wanted to talk to him about it because I totally agree, that he's very quickly moving himself into Disney legend status. You know, not only his work with Black Panther, The Mandalorian, creating that theme, and now this, and he's done other stuff for Disney as well. Like, if he stays on this path, he is like knocking it out of the park. And Paulina, did you tweet something or message something about the title track turning red on the soundtrack?
No.
Oh, I thought it was you.
Gio. Wasn't that you?
No. Either way, it just, that title track is so good. I mean, literally, like the beats mixed with. I love the fact that it's like
her theme, basically.
Her theme, yes, with the flute. The electronic bass, instead of a standard bass. So you got key bass, and then you've got the record scratches. You've got the guys in the background going, ho, ho, ho. When she's doing this, like that is some amazing layering. Loved all the keyboard parts and turning red. Like that's some next level stuff. And I'm so glad that you said this too, 80MWH. Ludwig, to me, at times, the score totally sounded like it was like a Wall-E kind of Finding Nemo vibe. I was getting those vibes in there. And I absolutely loved it. But my favorite track by far is the Red Moon Ritual, where obviously she's going through that. And the moment where I was so glad that it was actually in the song and not just a movie sound effect was where she's pushing through the mirror and she's about to separate from May, the Red Panda May, and it's going whoa, 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 whoa. That's actually in the song. And then right after that, when she collides back in and you get the beat going, that snare drum sounds like it's like electronic snare drum, but it sounds like it has like a papery drum head on it, and it works so dang good with the cultural side of it too. I'm just like, oh my god, how did Ludwig do it? So yeah, did anything like music wise? Did you pay attention or like anything like?
I have to dissect that a little bit more. I've just been geeking over the Four Town stuff.
That's true. Because even like Leo, our son, he's just got those Four Town songs on repeat, and he's like, you know what's up, I'm like, yeah, you sing it. And then you're never not on my mind.
Yeah,
I truly need to hear "Girl, I Love Your Jeans." I mean, that's one of the songs.
The Australian mix.
That's the Australian tour mix. Yeah. But yeah, it even has the remix of "Girl, I Love Your Jeans," and it's referenced in the credits too. I'm like, come on, give me "Girl, I Love Your Jeans." It's so ridiculous. Do we have anything else that we want to talk about?
I think that's...
I mean, I literally could keep going because the animation and little elements out there are so good. But I do also recognize that, we were delayed, but we're at like an hour and almost 45, 50 minutes at this point. That's not to say that we usually don't go this long, but trying to be cognizant of it. Is there anything else that we missed, whether it be in the chat or from you guys, that you guys want to talk about regarding this movie? Paulina, you usually have some notes.
I'm looking to them, and I think we hit them all.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Ming's line. The farther you go, the prouder I'll be.
Oh.
Dang. And I was like, Julie's going to need to hear this one, because she is going to have a really hard time if Leo starts to like separate from her as he gets older.
Not going to.
No. Listen. See? But I think you need that line in your life. I was like, wow, that is good. Because it's hard to remember that when you're parenting, that you need to let them, because we pour everything into them. Paulina, I mean, you know better than us. You've been through it multiple times, and they're grown, and you're sitting there. You got to just watch them. You just got to watch them leave.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was hard with me as a mom, is letting them go and fearing them getting hurt.
Oh, that's the worst.
I know. Mm-hmm. It really is.
It's the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Okay, so Giovanni, Ashley, anything else that you have in there?
I think we talked about everything.
Okay, I'm going to end with the final line of the movie here as it goes out. But, your Pixar pals, Eric, you've always got the great stuff. You're always thinking about the parks. I want a Panda May meet and greet at Disney parks.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just thinking, would that be like, how cool would it be if in some way they could pull off that they had like a Moana live character in person that kind of looked like May, and then like they go around a corner or something to do like a, or let me go grab something for like a kid, and then they have a screen that poofs, and then like a red panda version
that
comes
would be really
out
cool.
to like meet the kid.
Would it be like Sully, or would it be like Baymax, where it's like an inflatable, so it's squishy and you can like...
I think it's big like Baymax, but floofy like this.
It's got to be furry. If it doesn't have the fur...
it would be furry.
Yeah, like Sully. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. But Sully's a little... is he too stiff? Is that what you're getting at? That he's too hard?
Yeah, like people might want to go up and hug her and, I don't know. I've never met Sully. Is he squishy?
He's furry. He's furry, yeah.
It's furry, but it's very like awkward. The arms.
Yeah, the arms are so long and
big, like.
Yeah. Because we did the dance party that one time, and it was like.
I just hope we can like get close to characters again soon.
Yeah.
Because they're getting close to them on that darn Star Cruiser.
Yep. Yeah, I'm still waiting for a Bing Bong.
Oh my gosh! If they have a Bing Bong, I'm going tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, what is Brendan saying here? Notice in the years that have 2 Pixar features, only one gets a short. I don't think that we're gonna get theatrical shorts. We kind of talked about that a little bit. I don't know if there's going to be even another Spark short ahead of it. I don't think so. And then Scott talking about the Embrace the Panda documentary could have been a little less sterile, more raw. I felt like it was just the crew patting each other on the back. Maybe I could see some of that, but I loved the genuine moments of like Domi and Rona sitting on the couch and like, they were like literally hearing their compliments to each other in real time. Like they hadn't heard it before, because it's almost like they were like tiger moms themselves and they wouldn't reveal to each other how much they loved each other. It was like, oh, you're so good. You're so good. So I like Rose's response the best. Maybe it could be like the Winnie the Pooh costume, soft and squishy, and he can hug pretty well. So I like that. That's going to be the one right there. Okay. Thank you for clarifying, Brendan. I meant home entertainment shorts like Lamp Life or Ciao Alberto. Oh, man. See, now this movie is ripe for it. I would love if there was like
an Abby one.
Like, oh, yeah, you give me any of the...
I feel like they could do a backstory.
Yeah, they definitely could. I want it. I don't think we're going to get it. I think you're right if you're saying that there's usually one film that's going to get it. They're probably going to do it on Lightyear, if that's the case. Okay. So we've all got an inner beast. We've all got a messy, loud, weird part of ourselves hidden away. And a lot of us never let it out. But I did. How about you? That's a good ending line. That is a good ending line. So on that note, I will say thank you to everybody that has joined us. Thank you, of course, again to Paulina, to our friends along the way. We couldn't do it without you. Ashley, Giovanni, thank you again. Ultimate Pixar fan, yes, I saw your message. I'm not doing any post-video rolls after this. You guys know what to do, right?
You say it.
I'm waiting. Right. I'm waiting for Gio.
What do we know to do?
Well, that's a good question. You guys can stay tuned to PixarPost.com all week for the latest Pixar news. Bye. Thanks again, everybody online, too. It was a blast.